Well, hello everyone. So happy Friday. I'm back on because I did go to the thrift shop and I wanted to share with you. So if you are new to the channel, first of all, I welcome all of you beautiful, talented artisans. And if you are new to Echo Art with Carmella-T on YouTube, welcome, because we create with all recycled fabrics, materials, and supplies. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for having a cup of coffee with me this Friday. Friday is a fun day. No matter what's going on, take a few minutes, relax, and just know all the positive energies and healing and love and light is with you. So with that, I'm going to share first the thrift shop run, and then I have a number of samples of Kiwandi inspired, and then we're going to do a different version of it. So the first thing I got, let me get this pile over here, because I got a few things. And one of them I want to actually try on. Okay, so I'm going to put these here first. Okay, so this is a very simplistic book. And we're not allowed to show the inside of the book. So look, it's reptiles. So I got that because just like with my birds, when I study the birds, I study different, and cats and different things I want to do. I'll get a book and I'll just study and look at the shapes of them. And then it gives me an idea, kind of like creatively, as you know, I'm a conceptual artist. So I just kind of draw the abstract of what I want to draw. And with this, I'm looking at turtles. So turtles are in here, and that's why I got this to study. So I got that for 99 cents at the thrift shop. And okay, so the second big thing, I'm going to share the biggest thing first. And I did go there for curtains for my new place, to put them up temporarily, just for the summer, spring and summer, nothing, and I'll show you what I got. So they're lovely. Now, with that, I found this, was not looking for it, but check this out. Check that out. Land's End. Okay, now, Land's End has been a pretty high quality, nice clothing company for quite some time. But check this out. The tags are on it, and it doesn't have the amount. It has the thrift shop amount. So it was a percentage off of this, $12. So it was a little less than that, but still, I typically don't spend too much on thrift, but for this, check it out. Check it out. So I got to tell you, it's chilly. It's very chilly up in Vermont. And of course, you know, I'm moving up near more the Canadian border. So look, even more chilly. But I got this. Check this out. All the way, it goes all the way up. But look at the print. It's a beautiful floral print. Okay, and it has pockets. So, something has pockets, that's it. I'm right there. But I've been chilly because I gave away my winter boots, to the thrift shop, some winter coats to the thrift shop, because I really thought we were done with winter, but it's been quite chilly. So I got this, and then I got this for a few dollars. This was a few. This was like $1.99, and this is 100% cotton. Look, Croft and Barrow. It's 100% cotton, and I love it because it's a large, and it will go very nice with this, like with the floral, because this is floral. It's like a green blue. It's very nice. So this was several bucks. So, but this vest is brand new, and it definitely has some warmth to it. It is a spring, summer vest. It's not a winter vest, but we're having a chilly spring. So I figure this is perfect, and I could put a sweater under this, or if I'm chilly, I do want a t-shirt. I like t-shirts a lot because I move around a lot. I could get hot, and so the t-shirts, but this will be a nice little compliment to being warm. So then I got this. This is, now, mind you, I usually go to my thrift shop on Saturday. So I'm going tomorrow to the typical little thrift shop that I go to. But today I went to another one. So I needed a bath mat. So look, this was, I think it was like $1.99. But look, it has the ridges, and it's a bath towel. It's a bath mat towel type. So it's thick, and it's not huge, but it's just a good size. Oh, here it is. Look, $2, okay? Now, I make a big deal of it because, to be honest with you, there were, cleansers and some other things I was looking at Walmart not too long ago. I went into the bath section, and I'm telling you, it's not the Walmart us older people knew, 20, 30 years ago when our kids were growing up. It is not. You're not getting the bath mats for $2 and $3 over there. The bath mats are 15, 20, 22, 25. So are the shower curtains, so are the towels. So yeah, I got this bath mat for $2. I'm celebrating, and I'm staying within my budget this month. I have to count, like most of us, every penny, right? And so that's a bath mat. So now the curtains, I am very, very happy. Now I did, you got to get a little creative, but these are curtains. Look, there's 2. And I just want to show you. I'll have to stand up because look how beautiful these are. These are gorgeous. So this is like a chiffon. You see? You kind of see the wrinklies in there. So they're supposed to be very, very long. And there's 2. So I can put these up on one of my, oh no, wait. It's one large one. Okay. It is one large one. So that's fine because that will go to the window that's in like a little living room section. This will be perfect. And so it's beautiful. And so anyway, we got that for a couple bucks. And this one cost $4. But I spent the $4 because, and it's 58 by 96 oval. This is not a curtain. It's a tablecloth. At least it should be, but whatever, it's a piece of lace that I wanted for the porch window. So look, actually this, I'm thinking with this to cut and sew, use the sewing machine. Let me just open this up. But this is, or depending on how I can shape it, because I really, really do like the origami idea with fabrics. It is a Japanese method of working the fabrics to how you want to shape them. So this has a staple on it, so I'm just take my time on that later, but try to give you a general idea of this. This is pinned again here. And it is there we go. Oh, clip that. Wow, they really did tie this up pretty good. Okay, so this is oval, but look at this. Now, I don't know if you can see and really appreciate the color. Look at the design. I believe this is vintage. And the reason I say that is when I hold it up, and I always do this. Now, I'm not saying just because it smells a little musty. It smells a little musty. Now, that is a clue, including the design, and look at the color. This is a peach. This is a very soft beige coral peach. It's not a bright peach. It's not a dark peach. So it tells me it's a little older because it's a little lighter in that color. So, and if you look at the design, it's not a typical contemporary paisley. Okay, I mean, look, those are roses on a trellis. This is probably vintage because I can smell it a little musty. I will wash it up. But for $4, I mean, look, you can put this, I could even put this on that back door there. I have a door with a little screen window. This would look lovely draped like that. So when we go back up there, I'll bring you with me on that. Like, we'll see where this ends up. So that was my thrift shop run today. So I kept it, within a budget. Now, what we're doing this afternoon is the Kiwandi. I want to hold this up, okay? Or actually, let's see here. Maybe I can put this down. Let's put this down so I can talk to you about Kiwandi. Okay. So I got a number of things here. Get this out of the way. This is, I'm going to take all these scrap pieces because I want to show you first before I show you the way we're going to explore, because it's very important to me to make sure that I am conveying to you the appreciation that I have for the culture, for the technique of the Kiwandi inspired that the city women of India do. That's super duper important. And the way they do is they start, look at the piece, this is the base, okay, that's the base. And this is a piece that I started. So you see on the edges here, these are all pieces of fabric, you see? That's the first row. Okay? And typically in the traditional authentic Kiwandi, they go around, and of course I am not making my work, as you know, exactly like them. I'm inspired by them, so I'm not doing anything in the authentic manner. But we go around, and then we begin a second row, okay? I'm just laying this out and showing you how the typical traditional Kiwandi goes. So you lay your second row. You see the second row? And then you go around and you continue to go around like that. And I always teach when I'm talking to you about Kiwandi inspired that when you finish that first row, second row, whatever you're doing here, to turn it towards you like this. Okay, now we're going this way for the Kiwandi, for the second row. So we're building the second row going across. Whoops, that's it. And when I'm teaching these videos specifically on Kiwandi inspired, I talk to you in great detail. Today, I'm just kind of showing you because I want to show you the difference. So, okay, you do the first row, outer edge, second row going in. So keep that in mind right there, okay, because that is the correct way. So when you do that, this is a piece that I started. So when you do that, okay, see here? This is a completed design layout. So you see the first row going around, and then the second row, and then the center. So this is a mini wall hanging Kiwandi inspired. Okay, so that's what that is. Made the same way as this larger piece that I showed you kind of halfway, just so you can see how the pieces are laid out. Now, this is a completed piece. You see all the stitching? Now take note of the stitching because see, it's going around. It's following the pattern of your laid out patches. They are laid out from the outside in. Okay, so I'm showing you all that. I'm talking about all that because the question, and I'm going to put this to the side, and the reason we're here today is a viewer says, Carmella, can you do Kiwandi from the inside out? And I would say, we're going to try it right now. So I don't feel really comfortable about it, to be honest. I'm going to be honest. The energy is going to be totally different, but let's try it. So let's put this, we'll put the butterflies in the center. Now this is the difference. When you're doing it from the outside in, the center might be a little off, but guess what? The center is going to be automatically the center. And it is Kiwandi inspired. This one you have to really figure out where your center is. And is this really Kiwandi inspired? I would say that it's an art piece, patchwork inspired by Kiwandi. So I got some smaller pieces here I kind of want to work with. Okay, so I put this piece in the center, and I'm going to just work around it. I do not think it's going to be Kiwandi. It's not going to be heavily a Kiwandi piece, because look what you have to do. You've got to figure out your border as you're going around. So I would say it's closer to a Boro inspired piece. I'm just going to say that because of this reason, that you're doing a little bit of the guesswork going from the inside out. Plus, with the inside working from the center, your center has a perfect border. So that's very different. That's not like your Kiwandi inspired piece. So I would say this is closer to a Boro piece. And that's just my feeling. And you tell me what you think. But see, this is part of the problem. When you get up here, you see what's happening already? You're like, you have a space between the edge and the center. So that's kind of how that piece is going to go. And the artist who thought of this, she's like, Carmella, try to do that. And I would say this, look, I end up pushing these pieces up towards the edge or adding more pieces to the edge. I would say it's a very different look, to be honest, from the inspired Kiwandi, and just going around it like this. This is interesting to me. It really is. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat, I'm not keeping track of my rows like I would here. And I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to take this apart, and then we're going to do Kiwandi from the outside in. So you're going to see the difference. But look how I'm doing this. I don't have any rhyme or rhythm to this. Now, does it mean it can't be done? No. Does it mean it's not inspired by Kiwandi? No. This artist is inspired by Kiwandi. She's totally inspired. She wants to go around the piece, but she wants to do it in a very different manner. So, as I understand it, Kiwandi, what I've learned, is from the outside in. Now, this is a different effect. I'm not going to say it's, actually it's quite lovely the more I look at this. And I'm liking this right here. You can overlap, you can underlap, you can do and make this the way you want. And I'm going to hold this up in a moment. And I'm going to show you the difference of the center, because you see the stacking going around, which I'm actually loving that right now. But I'm going to show you what I mean. What it's creating, if I can explain this, is a dimensional effect. More dimensional, a different way. Okay. Oh gosh, that's adorable. Okay, so look at this. So I'm kind of surprised that it came out that adorable. And you see the butterfly in the center. So what I mean by put this down a little. What I mean, there's kind of a dimension. This isn't stacking, but I'm kind of getting that feel that I could almost do that a little bit more if I wanted, even to get a stacking effect. But you can see, because this is going around, so this is at the bottom, let's put it that way. The centerpiece is at the bottom, it's straight. That's the difference with the way this was just done, going around, being inspired by Kiwandi, but from the center out, as opposed to the traditional way that Kiwandi is done from the outside towards the middle. So what happens in the middle here is your middle piece is on top. It's also bunched, which is the way it's supposed to be. That's the signature of a Kiwandi piece. So that's the difference. But I do think this is absolutely lovely. So anyway, thank you for the artist who asked me to do it the opposite. Okay, so we did that. So I'm going to, and here, let me hold this next to it. I just happen to have a butterfly towards the center. A lot of times with Kiwandi, from the outside towards the center, it will be off center. The center will be off center and it will be on top. Totally signature to Kiwandi. That's the way it's supposed to be. So when you do it this way, you're putting your center in the center. You are manipulating it more. You're taking a little bit more control of your design, which is totally fine. And you're putting it in the center, but look at the difference. So this is pinned, it's not complete yet. Okay, so this is Kiwandi inspired. And this is, I would say this is still Kiwandi inspired because it heavily looks like Kiwandi. So it's the same with Boro. If you're making something in a different method, technique, and it comes out looking like the Boro, I've done a little research on this. A lot of the artist world, artisans will say, yes, it's Boro inspired. Okay, so that's a lovely. So I'm going to put that to the side. We'll put that to the side. Now we're going to design one from the outside in. So we get a piece of fabric and a piece of jean fabric. Okay, so this is more of a rectangle, and this is a seam that I'm going to leave open because I can make this a little mini wall hanging. So, but these pieces might be a little too big for this, but we're going to work with it here. So we're going to we'll start this row. We're starting on the outside. Okay, what we just did with this piece was from the inside, from the center. So Some of these I may cut as we go along. Now, you want to make sure that if you're doing this Kiwandi with me, inspired, that you are overlapping or underlapping, whichever way you want, the piece. Here, let me move these so I can get a little closer to the camera for you. There. And we'll put this down a tiny bit more. There. Okay. So some of these I'm going to cut a little bit and, use them because the base, this is our base, a piece of denim. So it's a little smaller. Now, putting a tiny little piece like this on a larger piece after your art piece is done, like that, is called Tikili. I think it's tikili, like that. That's another traditional part that the city women of India do. And in Boro, so tikili, you might have a little piece like that. In Boro, you'll see it a lot of times in between two pieces instead of like in the center. I think that's lovely though. I'm going to leave that like that. So anyway, we're going across and we're overlapping or underlapping about 1/8 of an inch. So this is our first row. Now I turn the piece towards me because I want to continue my row. Now, with a little piece like this, it may not be that important that you're turning it, but when you have a larger piece, so you're making a quilt, you're making a blanket, you're making something larger, a larger wall piece, you can get mixed up. Believe me, you can get mixed up with your rows. So you want to try to keep your rows, you want to keep oriented to them. Let me put it that way. Okay, so that first row is complete going this way. That's my outer edge. I continue with my outer edge. I turn the piece towards me and I continue. So okay, now that's complete. And I'm going to go continue this way. Now, this is the last row of the first row. And you can underlap. Here I'm going to underlap because I like the little ladybug showing. And this one, let's see, I want a little bit brighter color if I can get one here. And I'm going to underlap here because that's a large piece. Okay, so you see here, I'm just going to show you. You see here, this is Kiwandi inspired. This is how we're creating it from the outside in. Okay, now we're going to start our second row. I'm going to take this off, this little piece, because I don't want to confuse you. So now we're going to start the second row. This is a very small piece, so there's not going to be many rows. And I really like the purple, but let's get here. Okay, so we got room for one more piece there. So we'll put this. Now, as you're going around, these pieces do not need, nor are they in the traditional Kiwandi, except if the artist wants them. These pieces do not need to be flush. They do not need to be flush. And however, you will see pieces where they are, or maybe they are all like this, a longer, you know, like a rectangle, or all a square. It's all up to the artist, but the methodology of it is going around from the outside in. Okay, so this is our second row. So now I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, and I'm going to continue. Now, if I put this like that, that's going to jet down into this area. And that's when things happen like that, where you start to get, like, you get unoriented, or let's say mixed up. You can get mixed up if you don't pay attention to pay attention to the rows. So, so I'm not going to put that there for the moment, because I'm just trying to show you how to go around. Okay, so we'll do this piece. That will jet out a tiny bit. We'll do that piece, make sure we do our overlapping. And this one, I'm going to cut this down a tiny bit and continue. This one, I'm going to put it under like that. And I have a teeny little space here. So I want to complete my second row. So I'm going to use a small piece of fabric. Oh, let's see here. I've got a small piece right here. That's perfect. This is a perfect size. Perfect. Now I'm turning the piece again, and you can see clearly there's one row right here, and now I'm starting my second row. How do you get oriented to placing your piece? Look at the space immediately after that piece of fabric you just laid down. So you're looking at that space. If you look up, if you look down, if you look over, and I've done this, especially when I was beginning. I was placing the pieces too high. It didn't look right. There was something wrong. So use your immediate space from the piece, the patch you just laid down to guide you. Okay, so now with that, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And because now the space is getting smaller, I may only need that one patch. And I do. Now I could, so that my second row is complete. Now I'm turning this towards me, and I'm continuing my second row. Now, if you look closely, you see these pieces we put down are our first row. Here, immediately, the space after you see is our denim, and that space we want to fill. So I'm going to put this down. I want to make sure I'm doing my overlapping. Now, right here, I have a little bit of a space there. That's not really covered. So what I'm going to do is put that underneath, underlap it. Okay, and I'm starting my second row, and I'm going this way. So I'm going to use this piece of fabric. Okay, now I have a little space here, if you can see that. And I want to get that, I want my spaces, as I'm doing my rows, complete till it brings me and closes that row to the last row. And that's how you keep yourself oriented. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm going to turn it this way. So guess what? Now I'm starting my third row, and that's going to be it for this, because this is such a small piece. So for my third row, look, it only took one piece. So I turn it. And this is why I say your center might be a little off. There it is. That's going to be the center. So let's see here. We're not done yet. We're still working on this row. So let's see, something we haven't used. Maybe this one. Okay. So this one, I'm going to make sure I overlap this piece and this piece. And now I'm still going to turn it just because I want to stay oriented. And I see that little space there. So I'm going to put this here. Now you can, okay, boom, done. That's done. Now, because this is a Kiwandi inspired piece, if the center was important to you, like with this artist who asked us to do it this way, the center is important to the artist. She wants it to be centered. So that's centered. Now with the Kiwandi inspired way, your center isn't necessarily perfectly centered. It just isn't. But if you want it to be, there's nothing to stop you. Let's get a piece here that might jump out. Here, we'll do this. There's nothing to stop you from taking a little piece and centering it. You absolutely can do that. There's no reason you can't, because this is not authentic. You are not following the authentic way. You are inspired and you are creating. Personally, I don't want that there. I just want it the way it flowed. So that's how I'm doing it. So anyway, I hope that that gave you some ideas, and I love the questions. It was a very creative question. I wouldn't have thought to try the Kiwandi from the center out. So, and I did a little research. I couldn't find anyone doing that. So this particular artisan, you may be on to something. Maybe it's a new way you can create a piece that is inspired by the Kiwandi method of creating. So with that, I hope you have a beautiful day. I think the next videos, I'm trying to think here, they're kind of be a little bit different on some of them. For example, because I'm moving, right? So, so the next, no, we are on Friday. Okay, so the next one will be the art event on Sunday at the Milton Artists Guild. That's where I'll come on live, and I'll be stitching and working on a saddle blanket for Snowberry, my needle felted bear. And we'll have a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And I just love the different effects. Just one tiny little different thing or a couple of little different things changes the vibe completely. So if you have any questions on it, let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful Friday.